A single idea may be worth millions of dollars, and these ideas can only come to those who are receptive, who are prepared to receive them, who are in a successful frame of mind. Is it not worthwhile to make the effort? That's quite a quote from Charles Haanel, the mind behind the master key system.
It really is. Sets the stage perfectly.
So what's he getting at there? Is it just about trying hard, or is it more about the mindset itself being the key?
Oh, it's absolutely about the mindset.
Yeah.
Handel's basically saying right off the bat that your internal state, your receptiveness is crucial for those breakthroughs. It's the foundation.
Right. Makes sense. Well, welcome everyone to this deep dive. Today we're looking into the, well, profound and really practical wisdom of the Master Key System by Charles Haanel.
And also its modern update, tapping the source.
Exactly. And our mission really is to unpack how your thoughts, your inner world, connect to your outer reality, and maybe reveal some timeless, actionable ways to, consciously shape the life you want.
Yeah, and we're using key bits from the complete master key system itself, and also that updated version, Tapping the Source, which was a collaboration between William Gladstone, Richard Greninger, and John Selby.
It's a mix of the original deep stuff and a more modern take.
Precisely. It blends those deep spiritual principles with practical psychology, kind of bridging the old and the new.
Okay, so to really get this, maybe we should understand Haanel himself a bit better. Let's look into his background. Born 1866, right? In
Ann Arbor. And a true self-made American success story. Built his businesses, but apparently not by, stepping on others. He was disciplined, hardworking, focused on knowledge, understanding the average person.
And he faced challenges too, didn't he? It wasn't all smooth sailing.
No, definitely not. The sources mention he lost his first wife quite young, and a daughter too in childhood, so he knew tragedy.
Wow. Despite that, his methods, they've lasted.
They really have. That's what's striking. They seem to genuinely work, help millions. The sources call the insights profound and practical and truly universal.
Universal? So how might that apply to someone totally different today? Like, say, a stressed out parent or maybe a student facing exams. How could they use a core Haanel idea right now?
Okay, good question. Take the idea of focusing the mind. That parent may be feeling totally overwhelmed, right? Instead of just dwelling on the chaos, Haanel would suggest consciously focusing on the feeling of calm, of an organized day.
Not just thinking about it, but feeling it.
Exactly. That internal shift, it changes your state, which then can actually influence your actions, even how you perceive things. For the student, maybe vividly imagining and feeling the pride of finishing that project successfully. It boosts motivation, focus.
So it starts inside whatever your outside situation is.
That's the core of it. That internal shift is key.
Okay, I get that. Now, how did this old wisdom get a modern refresh? Let's talk about the guys behind Tapping the Source. Gladstone, Greninger, Selby.
Right. So William Gladstone, he apparently saw this treasure in Haenel's writing, felt it really needed someone to bring it up to the 21st century, make it click for people today.
And John Selby came into that. I heard he was, initially too busy.
Yeah, that's the story. He was super busy, but then revisited Haenel. Had this big aha moment.
What was it? Especially with his background, cognitive psychology from Princeton.
He realized, apparently, that he'd been missing one major ingredient in his own work. His expertise in breathing meditation, combined with psych, made him feel he was, meant to write this book.
Yeah.
He could provide the missing manual for Haenel's ideas, make that link between inner awareness and actually doing it.
The practical how-to.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And Richard Greninger, he was the one who first brought Haenel to Gladstone's attention. He'd been involved with similar teachers for decades.
So a team effort.
Definitely. Their goal was to make these powerful principles easy to use. They created specific exercises, these focus phrases, to help you not just understand it intellectually, but really feel it, get it on an intuitive level.
Okay, let's dive into that foundation then. Haenel starts with this huge concept. We are always in the presence of an infinite and eternal energy from which all things proceed. This universal mind. What exactly is it? It's not like God with a beard somewhere.
No, not pictured like that. It's described more as the totality of all mind in existence. Think of it less as a person, more like a vast, intelligent energy field. Or maybe like a universal operating system behind everything.
Okay.
The ultimate creative source. And it operates through us, through individuals. Haenel even said it thought the universe into shape before it became a material fact. It's everywhere, all the time available.
Wow. Okay. And building on that, he says, Mind is creative, and conditions, environment, and all experiences in life are the result of our habitual or predominant mental attitude. That's massive.
It is. It's the core assertion.
So if our thoughts literally shape our reality, what's the biggest mistake people make when they try to use this? Like, where do we usually go wrong?
Well, often it's inconsistency or lack of real intention. People might have a positive thought here and there, right? But their underlying habitual mindset might still be stuck in worry or lack or limitation.
So the occasional happy thought doesn't cut it if the background vibe is negative?
Pretty much. The sources are clear. The world without is a reflection of the world within. If you want external change, you have to start by changing your inner world first.
Okay.
Your thoughts aren't just random noise. They're the matrix, the mold that shapes the issues of life. They're constantly taking form, seeking expression.
So the implication is huge. To control thought is to control circumstance.
Conditions, environment, and destiny.
Yeah.
It puts the power and the responsibility right back on us. It's about being a conscious co-creator with this universal mind.
Which brings us to this idea of the true I. Most of us think I is my body, maybe my thoughts, my personality. But Haanel says it's deeper.
Much deeper. He says the real I isn't the physical body or even the conscious mind that gets buffeted around by events. It's a spiritual essence. That's the source of the real power.
Spiritual essence.
Yeah. This true I is described as inherently perfect and complete. And it's one with the infinite I, which is the universal energy or spirit.
Okay, can you give an example? Like, how does that feel different?
Think of it like this. Your conscious mind, your everyday personality, might be worrying about paying the rent, right? That's the surface level. But the true I is that deeper, unchanging awareness behind the worry, the part of you that just is. It's connected to this infinite source of calm, potential, power.
Ah, okay. The observer behind the thought.
Exactly. And when you connect with that, you tap into something really powerful, something that's always there beneath the surface noise.
Right, so how do we do that? How do we actually put this into practice? The mechanics of manifesting. Feeling seems really important here.
Indispensable, really. The sources flat out say a thought's vitality depends upon the feeling with which the thought is impregnated.
Impregnated. Strong word.
It is. If a thought is passionate and constructive, full of positive feeling, it has life, vitality, it grows, it attracts what it needs. Feeling is the fountainhead of power.
So just thinking isn't enough. You need the emotion behind it.
Correct. Thought and feeling. Together, that's called the irresistible combination. The feeling gives the thought its charge, its motive force.
And imagination fits in here too, right? Not just idle daydreaming, but something more focused.
Definitely not just daydreaming. Imagination is the light, Haanel says, by which we can penetrate new worlds of thought and experience. It's a plastic power, meaning it can mold reality, shape things of sense into new forms and ideals.
So for manifesting something,
You must construct in your imagination the ideal image or thought, build it clearly, and crucially believe it's already happening, already on its way. It's like creating the mental blueprint first.
okay, thought, feeling, imagination.
Wow.
What about concentration? I always pictured concentration as like gritting your teeth, forcing it.
Yeah, that's a super common misconception, Haanel points out. He says, concentration is much misunderstood. There seems to be an idea of effort or activity associated with it, when just the contrary is necessary.
Contrary. So less effort.
Exactly. True concentration isn't forcing. It's being so interested in your thought, so engrossed in your subject as to be conscious of nothing else.
Ah, like getting lost in a good book or a hobby.
Precisely. That state of flow where time disappears. That kind of focused power, he says, makes nothing impossible. He uses the analogy of a magnifying glass focusing sunlight. Scattered rays. Weak, but concentrated. They can start a fire.
That makes so much sense. Great analogy. Now, there's this intriguing mention of the solar plexus, described as the point at which the part meets with the whole. Infinite becomes finite. Universal becomes individualized. Sounds very poetic. What's the practical meaning?
It is poetic, but practically, it's presented as kind of an energy center in the body, a hub, a place where our individual energy system, our personal mind, connects directly with that universal energy.
Like a personal antenna or receiver?
Sort of, yeah. Your body's connection point to receive and maybe transmit this universal energy, a source within you for generating unlimited life. It's where the vastness connects with the individual.
Interesting. Okay, so a lot of people listening might be thinking, this sounds amazing, but my mind is just noisy. How do I quiet it down enough to actually do any of this? This brings us to entering the silence. Why is silence so vital?
Because, as Haanel puts it, A quiet mind is the primary foundation you will require in order to succeed in consciously creating the life that you desire. The sources say when you're lost in thought or, endlessly chewing on the past or worrying about the future, you're basically not here.
Not present.
Right. And the present moment, the here and now, is where all creation, all manifestation actually happens.
Okay, so how do we get there? How do we hit pause on the mental chatter?
The key technique suggested, especially in tapping the source, is to focus your attention on two or more sensory events at the same time. Doing that apparently temporarily stops the usual stream of habitual thoughts.
Two sensory events, like what?
They give specific focus freezes. You could start simple, like focusing on, I feel the air flowing in and out of my nose. Just the pure sensation.
Not analyzing it, just noticing the feeling.
Exactly. Pure sensation. Then maybe expand awareness to include the movements in your chest and belly as you breathe. The point is to shift your attention out of the thinking stream and into direct physical sensation happening right now.
So it pulls you out of your head and into your body, into the present.
That's the idea. It helps you snap out of thoughts and imaginations of past and future and re-enter the eternal here and now where reality actually unfolds.
Yeah.
This present moment is the gateway. It's where insight and empowerment from the universal mind flows into your personal consciousness.
Okay. There's another phrase mentioned.
Yeah, another useful one to cultivate is simply, I choose to focus enjoyably inward, shifting the focus gently.
And this isn't like a magic trick you do once, right? It
Yeah.
sounds more like practice.
Definitely. The book talks about opening to receive, not just as an idea, but as a pragmatic process that you nurture and master, like building a receptivity muscle. Consistent practice makes it easier and more natural to access that inner quiet and connection.
Right, building that muscle. Okay, let's shift to applying this stuff in the real world. Haanel made this gigantic leap, the source says, by linking the law of attraction directly to the power of love. How does he connect those two seemingly different things?
Well, he basically says that love is the power of attraction. It's the force that brings us what we need to be whole. And remember that irresistible combination. He says, thought impregnated with love becomes invincible.
Love gives thought its real power.
Yes. And this also connects deeply to giving and receiving. He states that generous thoughts can exist only in the mind of a person who feels that there is plenty for all. If you're coming from a place of feeling selfish or greedy, lacking.
Then there's no love, no real power to attract.
Exactly. There's no love and no power to attract what you need. So it is just as essential to give as to get. It's about facilitating a flow, an abundant circulation, not just trying to hoard things.
That makes sense. A flow. And interestingly, the sources say Haanel's teachings are not fixated on material possessions. So if it's not just about getting more stuff, what is the ultimate goal? What are we really after?
According to Haanel, what we truly desire, deep down, is happiness and harmony. He makes this powerful claim. If we can be truly happy, we shall have everything the world can give.
Happiness and harmony, not things.
Right. He stresses that harmony and happiness are states of consciousness, internal states, and they do not depend upon the possession of things. Things are effects, results. Happiness is the cause, or rather the internal state, that allows good things to flow.
Okay, and the sources list some core human needs for well-being.
Yeah, beyond just money. Things like health, positive emotions, a sense of personal power or agency, good friendships, a supportive environment, basic survival needs met, and experiencing pleasure. It's a holistic view of a good life.
Let's touch on health then. How does fear play into this?
The sources are pretty direct. Chronic, fear-based thoughts and images erode your health. It's suggested that offer the deepest fear is actually the fear of your own death.
Wow. And the mind's power over the body.
It's seen as profound. The idea is that each cell in the body carries intelligence, and these cells respond to thought. So positive, constructive thoughts can actually enhance healing.
Which implies our thoughts could affect others' health too. Like if I'm constantly worrying about someone who's sick.
According to this framework, yes. The book says if you worry about someone's health and well-being, you're broadcasting that negative, fear-based image out at that person.
Oof. So what's the alternative?
Instead, practice holding an ideal image of them being healthy, whole, vibrant. Focus on the wellness you desire for them. Interestingly, the source mentions research suggesting general prayer for health, not super-specific, fix this exact symptom. Prayer seemed most effective.
Fast.
Ultimately, the message is inner harmony is the foundation of health, both for ourselves and potentially in how we relate to others' well-being. It speaks to that interconnectedness again.
Really powerful connection. Now, William Gladstone, one of the Tapping the Source authors, applied these ideas to business too, right? In his book, Be the Deal, he had 7 steps to creating your own good luck in business. Can you share a couple of those?
Sure. Step one he calls aptitude. Basically, you need to have some natural enjoyment or skill for business. You can't just force it if you hate it.
Makes sense. Start with something you connect with.
Right. Then step two is attitude. This is classic Haanel territory, developing that positive can-do mindset, really believing in unlimited abundance, not scarcity.
Okay.
What else did I? Well, skipping ahead a bit, step five is awareness. This is about cultivating heightened awareness, both self-awareness and awareness of your environment, what's going on around you. And he notes that breathing techniques, like we discussed for entering the silence, are a simple way to boost this.
Bringing mindfulness into business.
Exactly. And step six is abundance. This isn't just about how much money is in your account now. It's about cultivating the feeling of abundance. That includes the expectation of receiving a lot of money in the future.
Feeling abundant even before it fully manifests.
Yes, it reflects that core belief in the true nature of reality being one of unlimited resources. It's about aligning your feeling state with that reality.
It really ties everything together. This blend of ancient wisdom and practical steps. It feels like a modern science is starting to catch up in some way.
It really does seem that way. There are striking parallels between what Haanel was writing over a century ago and what cognitive psychology is exploring now, and even older wisdom traditions. Think of yogic masters like Patanjali.
Patanjali?
Yeah, ancient yogic philosopher. The sources say he very clearly laid out the same insights, that our attitudes determine our thoughts stimulate emotions, and our emotions motivate actions that determine what happens in our lives.
Yeah.
It's the same chain reaction Haanel describes.
Wow. Same core message, just different language, centuries apart.
Exactly. Yeah. Suggests these might be fundamental principles of how consciousness and reality interact.
But what about stuff like intuition? Those sudden flashes of insight. Science still seems a bit fuzzy on that, right?
Yeah, the sources acknowledge scientists are still mostly baffled by intuition, by creativity. They talk about the right brain interaction, the mind's integrative function, but the actual source of those novel ideas, still largely a mystery for conventional science.
But the sources we're looking at, they point to some research that maybe pushes those boundaries.
They do. This is where it gets really mind-stretching, as you said. They bring up the Princeton Engineering Anomalies Research Lab, PEER.
PEER. What do they find?
Well, over decades of experiments, they concluded, and this was controversial, of course, but their data suggested a massive discovery that ESP is scientifically valid.
Whoa, ESP.
Yes, and specifically that focused thought and intent was demonstrated to influence the outside world. Measurable, statistically significant, though often small, effects of human intention on physical systems.
Like moving things with your mind or influencing random number generators.
More like influencing random event generators, yeah. Subtle shifts that statistically shouldn't happen by chance alone. And even more aligned with Haanel, they did group studies.
Group studies?
Yeah, which they say proved Haanel's assertion that love is a physical force in the universe. They found that collective positive intention, like groups focusing feelings of love or compassion, had a statistically significant effect.
Love as a physical force. That's pretty radical from a scientific view.
Absolutely. It challenges a lot of standard assumptions about the separation between mind and matter.
And physics might be hinting at possibilities too, more dimensions.
Exactly. The idea is mentioned that some new theories in physics are exploring more than 3 dimensions at play. And perhaps consciousness operates or interacts within these higher dimensions. This aligns in a way with Haenel's idea of tapping into a source beyond just the physical world we see.
So maybe our consciousness isn't limited to the 3D space we experience day to day.
That's the implication. It opens up theoretical possibilities that resonate with what mystics and thinkers like Haanel have been saying for ages. It all points back to the idea that the laws governing in the mental and spiritual world are as fixed and infallible as in the material world.
So just like gravity, there are laws for thought and consciousness.
That's the proposition. And just like with physical laws, if you want certain results, you need to know the law and to comply with it. You can't just wish gravity away, you work with it.
So it's about aligning ourselves, adjusting our thought processes to the will of the universal, as the source puts it, cooperating with these natural laws.
Precisely. Working with the fundamental creative principles, not against them or in ignorance of them.
Wow. Okay, we have covered a lot today. We've taken this really fascinating deep dive into Charles Haanel's wisdom and how it's brought forward in tapping the source.
Yeah, we've touched on the universal mind, the power within you, the mechanics of thought and feeling creating reality, and that practical path of entering the silence to connect.
It's a lot to take in, but incredibly empowering.
But remember that key point from the sources. Knowledge unused passes from the mind. Understanding is great, but application is everything.
Right. It's not just about knowing this stuff, it's about doing it. The master key offers, it says, an ability to secure results hitherto undreamed of. It's a bold promise.
It is. It puts the potential squarely in your hands.
So a final thought for everyone listening. If it's true, as Haanel and these sources insist, that thought constantly, eternally is taking form, seeking expression, and that the world without is a reflection of the world within, well then, what new reality are you actively shaping right now with your dominant thoughts and feelings?
And if the master key cultivates understanding which will enable you to control the body and thereby the health, what previously seemed impossible for you in health, or any area what might start to shift if you really committed to applying these principles, even just starting with one conscious, constructive thought at a time, what could change?